Good morning, good night, or good evening, and today we've got stock Ablemarle aggressive gameplay. So, right off the bat, we're going to get right into it. Now, without the contributor flag, you're going to get 5% to credits, 55 to ship XP, 65 to commander XP, and then 100% with the clan, okay? Armor-wise, 25mm bow, side plating at 27, 27, or 25 back aft, and then, well, 102 belt on the back. And then you get the Citadel armor at 152. So you are overmatchable by practically tier 6 ships. Tier 6 ships will overmatch you. So, Baron, West Virginia, anything in it with a 15-inch gun caliber, Repulse, those kind of ships go right through your bow. And it ain't pretty. As you can see, the Citadel, that's your Citadel. It's going to go right through your bow and into your Citadel. That's the Citadel, way above the waterline. And it's, since the ship is so boxy, yeah, it's going to be a little bit hard. So you're going to have to bounce you're going to have to angle and bounce it on that 27mm belt armor to even prevent from getting Citadel. That's the whole gimmick of this ship, is bouncing on that. And then not a lot of players know how to bounce. So that's where you're going to have trouble. Survivability-wise, since we're running, well, mostly stock, 39,400. Yeah, I don't have the upgraded hull. So 39,400, 19% torpedo reduction. For gun caliber, you get 9 203mm guns, 13-second reload, 8-second switch time, 22-second 180, dispersion 131, range 14.3, HE shells 3,300 max damage, 17% of fire, 34 armor penetration, and then a velocity of 814. Max AP damage 4,500 with the same velocity, 814. Secondary guns, well, 3-second reload, 6.6k range, 1,600 max damage, 7% of fire, 19mm armor pen, and then a 746 velocity. So, not the best. Torpedoes, she gets, well, 2 quad mount torpedo tubes. And, well, they don't, they're average. 7-second 180, around a minute and 30 for reload, 10k range, 15,500 for max damage, 62 knots, which is average and pretty decent, and a 1.3 detectability. So you can use these, and these are also single fire torps, so keep that in mind. Airstrike, she gets 7-kilometer range, 2 flights, well, around 16,000 max damage, and each max bomb does 4,200. So, average, not the best. You're going to struggle against subs. AA-wise, well, with the hull, so we're going to go off full hull, isn't much. 16 Orlight, 16 Orlight and machine guns, some pom-pom guns, a lot of pom-pom guns, and then she gets the 113 6, dual mount 113s. Continuous 233, max shell damage for shell explosions 1470 with a 5.8 range. Not the best, but average. Now, the speed is 33 knots, 720 turning circles, so it's fairly large. And then a 15-second rudder shift. Now remember, Techline isn't about, having fully upgraded ships. This is meant to help players grind these ships with minimal money and just to get them to the tier 9. It's about going the cheapest way possible to get you from tier 6 to tier 7 to tier 8. We're going cheap route here, folks. Concealment. Without Concealment Expert and the module is 12.1. Equipment-wise, I have nothing. Now, if you wanted to run it with dual minimal money, main armaments 1, aiming systems mod 1, and then I would take damage control mod 1 just to have that ability. Ideally you'd want steering gears and concealment module 1. That would be a full setup. Now, I didn't take Hydro in the replay. I took Defensive AA by accident. But ideally, you always want to take Hydroacoustic Search. And you get Spotter Plane also, so that's going to increase your range too. Yeah, I don't have... With Superintendent, you'd get 3 Super Heals, 4 Hydroacoustics, and 5... spotter planes. Now for the build, we're going to just highlight that for you. So, Adrenaline Rush, Concealment Expert. So right now we're at 5 points. We're looking at 8 points, 12 points. I think, yeah. No, not 10 points, sorry. 10 points, 13, 14, 18, and then after that it really depends. I mean, since the whole line is HE spammers, I would go Demolition Expert, Incoming Fire Alert, and that would work. That way, because you're going to be shooting from, well, max range a lot of times and burning everything. And people will want to kill you. So having this kind of setup, it'll work. But that's how I would run a Goliath, in my opinion. But this build will work. If you do this, you'll have a good build when you get to tier 10. Hello and welcome to Techline. Today we have a ship that I've also been trying to get to you folks. Again, we've got Volram in the Enterprise. We've got a random Massey, Brandenburg, and Agonize now. I'm in the Ablemarle. Jen is in the Mayoko, and Doc Einstein is in the Zara. Now, I'll be honest, I am not a fan of the Ablemarle. Not a fan. I find it big and clunky. I mean, as you can tell, the thing's like a bloody box. Not my favorite ship. I only put this camel on there to give it the bonuses because I thought I would like this ship, but I realized after playing it for a little bit, I hated the ship. I never did like this ship, honestly. So 3,600 on the DDs and climbing. Now, the reason I also picked this one is, yes, it's not like one of those overpowered ones where it's like, oh, like, he's at like 1800. No, it's also, you know how you guys know, I was on my Nuevo video, I've been trying to find a way to get an aggressive cruiser strat in here. Well, this is one of those aggressive cruiser strats videos also. And a very squishy ship. So, a win-win in my book. But apparently Volrom had a kitty in his face, a kitty butt in his face. I know how that is. I got 2 cats myself, a polydactyl and a calico. One loves to sit on the couch, the other one loves to sit in the tree. Or sleep in the tree. Believe me, if I could get webcams and everything for my Twitch stream, I'd have to have 2 webcams covering the kitty cam. And it's at this point that, you know, I'm not at the best damage. Let's be honest. I'm only at 18,000. Now, the reason I don't like this ship is, one, like I said, it looks boxy. And the armor is really just subpar. Now, it also doesn't help that this thing is like a completely stock range, stock everything. And no modules. That doesn't help. But I think it's a good starting base for those that are looking to go up this line to the Goliath. It's a good starting point. And this really shows a lot of the ship's, you know, whole gimmick, which is fire. As you can see, we're only up to 4 fires now. But I want you guys to look at the fire at the very end. Okay, we had a double fire, Wyoming DCPs, or New York DCPs. Which was really annoying, because I kind of wanted those double fires to stick. We have Doc Einstein putting sap into their sides. We get a fire on the New York. We switch back to the New Mexico. Volrom's going on with the Enterprise bombers. And we get a fire on New Mexico. AP shells coming in. We do take a chunk, and we barely miss the Citadel, getting hit by the Citadel. Barely miss. Double fires on New Mexico. Zara picks it up, even though the fires would have killed it. We're at 9 fires now. Both battleships are aiming at me, so not the greatest. Volrom's going for the Atlantic, gonna kill him, so we can at least keep the op running. Battleship shells coming in. Fortunately, they all miss. Again, as you can see, not much of our battleships are really helping on these battleships, so that was a little difficult. I don't know where those torps were going, though. I really don't. Again, they're both, again, looking at me again. And you can see the guns literally turning. Fire on New York. Torp bombers going in. Pretty sure those are going for the Wyoming. Yep, Wyoming is going to take some torps. Not the best strike, though. He only gets, what, 2? But still decent enough. Pick up the Wyoming. And pick up the New York to fire. So we're at 10 fires now. And the Einstein's saying, we got really poor BB-Jev. And Volrum's like, yaw. Now, I'm going to let you guys be the judge of these battleship drivers. Again, this is a heavy cruiser, so it can bounce this kind of AP. Boom. Hear the clicking noises. More clicking. Against this AP, it really doesn't do much to you. And I do have a super heal, so I don't have to worry as much. It's the AP that worries me. And I pick up that Omaha. Oh. Now, I should have dodged that torp, but I messed up. Let's be honest. Now, we're at 113,000. Well, actually 114,000. We're at 11 fires.
Warship commanders, transport aircraft have arrived. Proceed to evacuation. Protect the aerodrome until embarkation is finished and the transport aircraft leave base Rohan. Provide gunfire support for attack aircraft. Problem solved, sir.
Then you see, we're a little outer. If the cruisers had spawned to my left, we would have been dead. And I only get 2 heals, so I have to make this last heal count. Trying to get AP Citadels, but not getting lucky. Not getting lucky at all. Get a nice 9K on there. Finally decide to pop my super heal. We got another 9K. DCP the fire. Pick it up for a quad Citadel. 13,000. Bad news is we got a fire we have to deal with, the permafire. So that's 30 seconds of full fire damage. With the ability to not heal it back since we're out of heals.
Attention. We intercepted enemy communications. A group of enemy destroyers have been sent to disrupt our repair base. Do not allow them to capture the repair base.
The DDs have showed up. I'm only at like 8,000, 9,000 health. So if the DDs really wanted to, they could focus me. I have 2 aiming at me. So not the most welcoming. So my only hope is to have their HE shatter on my side. So I have to angle just enough to kind of break that HE. And hope it isn't a pin. As you can see, I'm weathering it pretty well. It's hitting the belt armor and breaking. So it's keeping me alive just long enough.
The ship is on fire.
Another fire. DCP that fire.
Problem solved, sir. Enemy destroyer.
Whisky 2 and I believe that was... Yeah, I believe that was Whisky 2 and 3 are down. So Whisky 1 is still out there. We're at 1 million damage tanked. We're at 14 fires, 6 kills, 13 citadels. This thing spams fire like crazy. Still have a DD out there. Fire. And pick up Whisky 1.
Our repair base is no longer in danger. Enemy destroyer sunk. Attention. Reporting a target position.
And they're like saying Call of Duty, which is the guy's now behind me that's full of health. And he finally decides to move out. Now this is very gutsy. Because this thing does not have armor to take a 16-inch shell. So if you're going against anything with 16-inch shells, North Coast, Iowas, Colorados, West Virginia, 41 even, it goes right through your bow. These ships have no armor. Even though they're categorized as heavy armor, heavy cruisers. Heavy cruisers only means the guns. So it has light cruiser armor, but basically heavy cruiser guns. So not the most enjoyable. And we do get a double fire on the Missouri. So he's got double 60-second fires burning on him. We have 5 aiming at us. Which is literally this entire wave shooting us. Missouri is looking at us. You see Missouri shells coming in. Watch my health. Right into the upper deck and right plunging fire. Straight down. That was around 14,000. That was a good amount of damage on me. And I'm going down. Again, you see, I wanted to drop torps, but I screwed up. And all my torps just cleared. So it was not a good match. It was a tough match for a pure stock ship. So this ship is really hard if you don't run any equipment, very low captain, and it's completely stock. It's very hard to grind, very hard to play. But we did end up with 215,000, almost $1.5 million tanked, and 19 fires. It's a very hard ship to play. It doesn't really get good till the Goliath and the Drake. The Drake and the Goliath are pretty much where it actually starts to get better, because you get that 6 equipment module, which gives you either increased range or increased reload. Personally, I like to take range because it helps a lot. Now we see where I'm trying to get the CV, but we just don't have the time to get it. He does get a... Now, if those shots do hit, it could Citadel. But they miss, and we don't get that kill. But we do get a 4-star up.
Embarkation is finished. Operation successfully completed. Good game, everyone.
Yep, no problem. Thanks for joining me, Rogue. Yeah, if I had more... I had that HP that the Missouri took, I could have lived longer, but without that HP that he took, it really hurt me. Still not a bad match. Didn't really do much, just played to the ship's strength. Fires, 19 fires. Can you say ship conqueror or cruiser conqueror?